This is Lewis Hart for The Ring magazine. Delighted today to join with Conor Benn here in Manchester, ahead of a big start to a big fight for yourself, Chris Eubank Jr. I guess it's been, 2.5, 3 years in the making now. We're here for the first press conference. You're going to go face-to-face for him for the first time before you do fight on April 26th. Conor, it's good to see you. How are things?
Yeah, all good, mate. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. All the better for obviously being here for the fight. I guess just talk to me about landing this fight now, finally having it over the line after so long of people wanting it. To finally have it must be a really good feeling.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, it's that fight that sort of never went away. You know, it's the fight that, was sort of always lingering around. The WBC World title for me was obviously a fight that I really wanted. But I felt like this was the fight that I couldn't let go. It was the fight that we couldn't just let slip between our fingers. So it really was a decision I'd sit down and make, and I feel like I've made the right decision in fighting Eubank Jr over fighting for the WBC World title.
Yeah, as you say, the Barrios fight was there as an option. I guess how close was it for that, and was there ever a point where you think, I might not fight Eubank Jr ever?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a hard one because I know how much this fight means to the British public. A Barrios fight doesn't sell out Tottenham Stadium. But for legacy reasons and personal reasons, I would love to have fought for the world title. And will fight for the world title once I knock Chris Eubank out. But I'm glad the fight's done, and I'm glad the fight is here. But there were so many ups and downs, the weight, the rehydration, the ring size, the this, the that was just going on. That led me to think the fight wasn't going to be made. So, but here we are.
Yeah.
Thanks to His Excellency for making the fight, because the fight wouldn't have happened without him.
Yeah, well, you think about it, this fight's been your last fight in the UK was 3 years, almost coming up to 3 years by the time that you are in the ring on April 26th. Talk to me about, I guess, that sort of journey of the Eubank Jr fight from October 8th and that all falling through to now. What was that journey been like now when you can, finally sort of get to settle it on April 25th?
26. I mean, I don't really care. I'm just going in there to. It was inevitable. I'm just going in there to fight him. I'm not really it was supposed to happen then and here, there and there and there. Ultimately, it's happening now, and I'm excited to go in there and dish out some smoke.
What are you expecting at the presser today?
What am I expecting at the presser today? I'm actually not quite sure. I feel quite calm today. I feel quite relaxed in my pyjamas. But I'm also willing to drop smoke in my silk pyjamas, so, however it comes, I feel quite relaxed about it all, to be honest.
Yeah. For yourself, I don't think you'd have this sort of emotion towards any other opponent again in your career. How do you keep that in check? Do you keep it in check?
Well, I still always think he's an idiot. That doesn't go. He's an idiot. But apart from him being an idiot, he's also got a massive head. And apart from that, I don't like him. Yeah. I mean, I like people, I don't go anything against people with big heads, but it's just his head.
Yeah. Do you think that brings the best out of you, that feeling of it being a bit different? Does that bring a different sort of feeling to you, for yourself?
I don't know, I always take every fight personally anyway. All my fights I take personally, ain't business. For as long as you're trying to take food off my table, for as long as you're trying to stop me from getting to where I go to, it's personal. It ain't just business. The reality is, you're trying to take off my plate. You're trying to stunt my growth. Yeah. You're trying to stop me from getting to where I want to get to. It's personal.
Yeah, yeah. And
so for me, he's the one in the way of that. He's in the way of me changing my life. He's in the way of me winning my world title. Yeah. He's in the way of me getting to where I want to get to. He'll pay the price for that.
And as I say, when the first fight got made in October, it was very much a feeling of the history and the fathers. But I feel like as it's more, the timeline's gone through, it's transpired. The feeling has been different, and that's natural for everything that's happened. I guess, do you feel like now, is there a different feeling from October, from that fight in October till now, where it's more, there's more dislike for Chris?
Yeah, I definitely think he's more of an idiot, for sure.
Chris is going to say a lot. and I'm sure he'll mention a lot of things. And he may, at the press conference, he may mention sort of the drug test and everything like that. How do you guess prepare for that and things what he has to say?
There's nothing to prepare for, because the reality is I've been cleared 3 times by the NADP, by the WBC, by a panel full of judges that are very well experienced. Not received a ban, suspension lifted, cleared to fight anywhere in the world. But no one can clear him of being a wanker. That's the bottom line. Yeah. You can laugh.
No. That's not for me to say. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's fine.
That's not my opinion,
but that's the reality. The reality is his dad don't even like him.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me carry on.
Okay.
They could not pay him enough money to be here, to pretend to like him. That's how unlikable he is. That's an accomplishment. Your own dad don't like you. So if he wants to bring up testing, like, cool, bring him up. I've been cleared 3 times by people who have way higher IQ than you. You are an idiot.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about the whole thing with the dads, because you've got obviously your dad in your corner. Is it not part of it like a bit difficult to see like Chris and Senior and Junior like not getting along, like because you've made it's such a big fight because of the legacy that your father's had and the dislike between you?
Well, if I was Senior, I would turn up to the fight.
Yeah.
If I was Senior, to watch my son get an absolute pasting. That's what I would do. If I was Senior, I reckon Senior will attend because he knows his son's about to get a bad beating.
Yeah.
So he probably will be there for fight night.
Yeah, but I guess in the build-up, as I say, like nothing for you. Not feeling bad in a sense, but
I don't care.
Yeah.
I definitely do not care about them too. As far as I'm concerned, on this side, in the Benn camp, my dad don't need paying to be there in my corner.
Yeah. The rehydration clause was a big sort of topic when the fight did get announced. I guess what's your take from the whole situation?
Let me just nip it in the bud there. I'd like to just confirm to you and everybody else watching, it was their team that suggested that Eubank doesn't go about £8 to £9. Yeah. So you know what? We'll give them 10. Yeah. We'll do it within the IBF rules. It was their team that suggested the £8 to £9, not us. In fact, it was their team that suggested 157. Play the victim all you want. It ain't going to change the outcome. Play whatever card you want, 60%, 40%, 30%, whatever you want to measure it. You're still getting your ass handed to you April 26.
Yeah. If that's the case, then why do you think they did mention it?
But because you know why. Yeah. It's all about market. It's all about PR. You understand the game.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd lap it up. I'd lap up the eggs. I'd lap up the chin. I'd lap up. Do your thing. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. How do you feel about going up to 160, like fitting into a middleweight frame?
I beat him at middleweight. Then I'll drop back down to 147. I'm only up here for this fight. Yeah. And then I'll come back down to 147.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that because Turki Al-Sheikh on Sky Sports, he talked about the winner getting Canelo. So no going up to 68 for yourself?
I mean, you want payday, as Canelo says. So, no, I'm good. I'll have to pass.
Yeah. Before I do let you go, Conor, April 26th, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 60,000 people. Talk to me about that moment as that goes through your mind and you're in the ring there with Eubank Jr. If you do think about that.
Yeah, it's some homecoming. So it feels. I ain't fought here for would be coming up to 3-4 years, however long. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Conor, appreciate taking time to speak to me. Really appreciate it. All the best on April 26th. Top man. Thanks.